All right, here we go. Welcome to Off the Record. Oh, wow. I'm here with a giant today. The man with a plan, extraordinaire, confidant, mentor, community organizer, realtor, broker, uh, advocate of young men and women in our community. Jeff Allen, how are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good, Dave. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, absolutely,
Yes, sir.
man. It's you do a lot of great work.
I appreciate that.
You got your hand in quite a bit of stuff here in this city. You know,
Yeah.
obviously the real estate world. You're a part of that. Tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, Jeff Allen. I'm born and raised in Indianapolis. Man, I actually started. My first passion was music, and it still is one of my passions. I started playing the keys when I was 8 years old. Well, actually, I learned how to play when I was 5, and then
Oh,
I started
wow.
playing at 8 and playing for different churches, and eventually grew into writing music and meeting a lot of different major artists and writing music for different artists. So it was it's definitely been a journey, and so I moved out of that and got into construction and got a couple degrees in electronics and robotics, but kind of just, how life just kind of takes a turn, and so I ended up cutting hair, doing music, and actually becoming a community health worker at Anthem and through Engaging Solutions.
Okay.
So that was awesome, man. Just to be able to connect. It was basically just allowing me to be who I am, being able to connect to different people in the community, going to certain areas, just to be able to not inconvenience, the client to come out, or you'd have to meet them at doctor's appointments, or just call them and talk about their health, talk about different resources that they may need.
It
And that was
sounds
definitely
like
rewarding.
It sounds like you've had to foster plenty of relationships.
Yeah, definitely.
It sounds like
Met a
to
lot of
me,
people.
it really take it when I look at everything, when I hear everything you just told me, it transitions well to you being a real estate broker.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you're able to sit down at that kitchen table with a particular family,
Right.
and you have a sense of empathy for their situation, knowing whether they need to sell or purchase or whatever the case may
Right,
be.
exactly. Because people are people, and that's one thing that I really, believe, man. Just treat people like human beings. I don't care if it's the CEO down to a homeless person or what have you, man. People are people, and God has blessed us to be able to be alive and to be able to, take advantage of resources, live life, learn life, and benefit, and just, be the best that we can be. So, some people don't necessarily need handouts. They just need a hand up. They
Right.
need to know where the resources are. They need people to care. A lot of people, just kind of take advantage of the job, and then they overlook the person.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And so, I learned a long time ago that said people don't care what you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's interesting. We have very similar background. I was a school teacher. I was an assistant dean of a campus, college campus.
Okay.
Like yourself, educated, gone undergrad, graduate school, all that good stuff. And then when I see that you're a part of the Indianapolis Urban League and that role that you played, that's significant. Because if you look at today's society and you hear stories, particularly about that are happening in our community, and it's not a knock on anybody. It's not, I'm not trying to belittle anybody, but your role is so crucial because there's so many people that aren't doing the work.
Yeah.
They're just not doing what they signed up to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's so much work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I love that role. Again, transitioning out of being a community health worker, getting into the case manager role at the Indianapolis Urban League for Saving Our Sons program. What that was basically geared around was helping young men, 18 to 24, and of course they get the grants, and a lot of different nonprofit organizations may do that. But our program was unique because we wanted to get the participants into the New Beginnings program, which comes around maybe twice a year at the Urban League, but then also in a dual role transition into the Saving Our Sons program if they fit that criteria, young man 18 to 24. So with that, they needed that extra care, touch points where we can talk about getting your driver's license, getting your HSE, your high school equivalent, maybe get you into a training program to get your CDLs, Class A, Class B, even transitioning into something different out of the box, like computer technology or some type of programming, certificate or what have you. They had CNAs and all type of stuff. So it was definitely rewarding to be able to talk to the guys about financial literacy, mental health, healthy relationships, just helping them with their resume, getting them jobs, pointing them in the right direction with that. Even offenders, we've all had our, twists and turns in life, and so everybody just needs to be cognizant, basically, that people have different situations and just need help in certain areas, man. And I love that role. I also started a suit closet over there as well.
Oh, wow.
And so connected to the case manager in St. Louis, actually. And man, that was awesome. He came down to see what we were doing in Indianapolis, and he was impressed, and it was amazing to have, two case managers there. It's different, same program, different states. And, he connected me with a friend of his, and we were able to bring new suits, to to the Urban League. Yeah. So if they had, the women had Dress for Success, and they, can get taken care of for interviews or job fairs or what have you, but the guys weren't.
And what's such invaluable resources, man, to have. I mean, everything that you just laid out, puts people in a better position, financially, socially, economically. Even mentally, puts you in a better mental space as well, because we know that for me, if I can't lead my family, that's my mental health takes a toll on that, and that's something that in our community for generations was never addressed.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And then when you don't address that problem, it leads to other problems like drug addiction, alcohol abuse, violence, domestic violence,
domestic violence, messing up your finances, divorce. It could, displacement of kids. It's a lot.
In the 1980s, early 80s, crack cocaine hit our community really hard, and the question I always ask everybody, where did it come from? But that's kind of a rhetorical question, right? We know where and who brought it into our community. Because at that time in the 70s, 60s and 70s, the black man was the only person that had to work in the household. The black woman didn't have to work. She maintained and raised the children. Because our fathers, they worked at GM and Chrysler, and Allison Transmission, and Ford, and they were carpenters, pipe fitters, HVAC guys, whatever. Today, in today's society, you don't see that. We've been driven out of the home. The programs that you're talking about puts men in position to lead their home.
Yes. That's exactly,
you know what I mean? That's a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah. That's really the whole point of it is man, put us back in our rightful place. And man, it's we're wired to be providers. We really feel inadequate. That's what I would tell my participants in the Saving Our Sons program. God just designed us to be givers. Naturally, the women's design is to be a receiver. She's not to go out and hunt and gather and do all of that. So we've come from that, and so be it that, like you just addressed, those times where the man was really the go-getter, the breadwinner, and women really didn't even have rights, you know, back in then until maybe the late 50s or 60s or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, things start really turning around just altogether for women, and man, we can talk forever about it, man. Willie Lynch syndrome and everything.
Yeah. Dark
Kind of
versus
plays
lighter, lighter versus dark,
Yeah.
old versus young, young versus So I mean, that's stuff that my parents taught all my my siblings. About Willie Lynch and just self-respect, self-care, all of those things. When there was somebody in the media telling our community not to listen to that kind of stuff. Well, why would
Right.
why would you take on that narrative or that agenda?
Exactly. Exactly.
And if you
It's
look
been
at our
programmed.
community today,
Mm-hmm.
that's why.
Exactly.
Divide and conquer.
Exactly.
And that's what's happened.
Yeah.
And now, from what I see, especially since this whole Kevin Samuels thing that has recently taken place, I see men versus women, women versus men, and it's like we can't find a common ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's something that definitely, a conversation needs to be had.
Yeah. Absolutely.
At the kitchen table,
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a lot, man. And
so,
yeah.
you're a real estate broker.
Yes.
You're passionate about that.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell the listeners and folks that are watching why you chose real estate to be that next chapter of your life.
Right. I really have a passion to help people, and I'm just gonna say it. I'm pro-black, I love to help my people. I love everybody, but there's a focus, that I want.
Well,
to
I'm gonna say this.
help my own
I'm gonna
people.
cut you off.
Uh-huh.
The Hispanics
Mm-hmm.
are like Latino Hispanic people that I know
Mm-hmm.
are pro Hispanic,
Mm-hmm. Right.
pro Latino.
Right.
The Jewish people I know are pro Jewish.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay, we don't have to apologize
Right.
for being pro black.
Exactly. As we
I'm
should.
pro black as they come.
Right.
Do I respect the next man? Absolutely.
Right. Exactly.
But my first indication is my community,
Exactly.
because like the minister says, charity starts at home.
It starts at home. It has to.
Okay.
'Cause why would you take care of somebody else and
Right.
you took care of home?
Take care of home first,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's where I think like some of us get caught up. And I'm gonna get back to the real estate thing, and I promise. I think because we're just having a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's where society will make you feel bad for praising somebody like Minister Louis Farrakhan or the Black Panther Party,
Right.
or SNCC or CORE or the Southern Christian Leadership Conference or Malcolm X or Huey Newton. I mean, they will make you feel bad for trying to
Right.
support somebody that their only intention was to make our community better.
Exactly. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
That Willie Lynch syndrome type of mentality
Still
resonates in our community to the point that men don't want to be involved with the black women and black women not with the black men, or whatever the case may be. And you can be with whomever you want to be with.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But it's the notion of it all
Yeah.
that you can't be proud of who you are, and you have to put a disclaimer on that. I say fuck that.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I
'Cause,
mean?
like you said, that Willie Lynch, man, it goes so far back, man, to when he really wrote it. He says, if this is successful, it's going to last over 400 years,
Yeah.
man. And look at us, we've been taught to hate our own skin color, taught that, subconsciously we have to dummy down or protect ourselves, or almost in a sense try to protect someone else of a different skin color, like
To make them feel comfortable.
To make them feel comfortable, right? And so, yeah, we got to stop that, man. So yeah, I'm pro-black, and I love everybody, but I'm pro-black.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And it's not we don't have to apologize for that.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our ancestors apologized for that.
Yeah.
We don't have to.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
even being a licensed real estate broker
Mm-hmm.
in the state of Indiana, we already know there's certain people that aren't going to do business with us.
Right.
That's just the way it is. So why not be pro whatever your community is,
Exactly.
so that you can help those people get to a point where, I'm sure you work with a lot of first-time home buyers, right?
Exactly.
Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah. So first-time home buyers, man. I'll tell you this. I love how God works, because when you're just living life and you'll pick up different jobs, or have different experiences, you never know why you're doing certain things. You know that this is going to be able to take care of me right now, or this is something I'm interested in right now, but it really shapes you for where you're getting ready to go. So I love the fact that I've had experience in project management, or case management, or community health work, to be able to be personable, to be able to look at people and say, okay, well, I see what you have. Maybe I can pull this resource in here, or just to be resourceful. If they need someone to fix some carpet or windows or what have you, just to be able to say, okay, gather from my experience, I need to have a list of resources, or contractors, or different people that can be able to help those. So people are really nervous being a first-time home buyer.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're getting yourself into, and as they should be.
Right.
I wouldn't say nervous. I should say, optimistic.
There's a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, it's a lot of anxiety that comes with it, because it's a lot of questions.
Right.
That things that they just don't know. So I think first-time home buyers, it would be good if you maybe look some stuff up online, take a class for first-time home buyers. I believe INHP offers one. Renew Indy has a program. Just talk to your bank, talk to different lenders or what have you, just to be able to get a scope on what does that look like. What does your finances look like? Are you ready? Renting versus buying.
Right.
Are you in a lease right now? So it wouldn't make sense to say, I want to buy a house. And I've had that,
Right.
They want to buy a house and ended up, man, you're still in a lease till next April.
Well,
so,
and also, if you look at, I'm running the numbers here, right? So there's people that I'm sure you run into. Let's say they're paying $1,200 a month in
my
rent.
God,
Okay?
yes, that's common.
And then let's just say they've been doing that for, let's just say 4 years, right? So that's almost $58,000 that they threw away in 4 years, and they don't get a dime of it, a penny of it back.
Exactly.
It just makes sense to call you. What's your phone number? What number should they call?
They should call 317-809-1547. That's my cell phone.
There you go, people. You need to give Jeff a call, and that's $58,000 that they've thrown away. Just think if they were spending that in a mortgage the last 4 years.
Exactly. Get into something that's going to appreciate. A lot of times they don't know what to do, and so you basically want to get in touch with a realtor, preferably me.
Of course.
And that
someone
way
you trust.
Someone that you can trust and has the experience, and not just gonna try to get you for your money, but want to be able to answer questions,
right?
That you have, because you have a lot of them. To be able to get you with the lender so you can get pre-approved. Pre-approved is just making sure that you talk to the lender about all things financial, so you can get whatever you're approved for to be able to buy the house.
Right.
And so that's your golden ticket to go shopping.
Right.
And so what you really want to do is talk to that particular lender about what's your estimated monthly cost, or what your mortgage is going to look like. And sometimes with that pre-approval, you may have a lot of ladies, or maybe even older folks, that may want to downsize or what have you, and move into a condo. And so those condos are going to come with HOA fees, so you don't want to
It's a different type of qualification.
Yeah. And so you don't want to cap out at at your max, so you pre-approved for $175,000, You never want to go for a house that's 175,000 because it's a seller's market. You want to stay under 160, 165. You know, allow that lender to, you know, finance whatever they're going to appraise the house for. They're only going to give you what the house appraises for. But then I kind of want to talk about what's really common now. It's called an appraisal gap. Right. And so appraisal gap is basically the gap in the appraisal where you're guaranteeing maybe say I don't know $1,500, $2,500, $5,000 over the asking price, right? And so say that, you know, someone lists a home for 170, right? And this just for first-time home buyers in case you don't know. But say the seller lists a home for 170, and I kind of tell the story that, you know, say my daughter, I have an 18-year-old daughter, she would ask me for some money. And, you know, daddy's on a budget sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Because I have to take care of a few things. I got bills. And, you know, she don't understand that, but she will. She just turned 18. But she used to ask me for money for like a baseball or a basketball game or football game. And say, you know, hey, can I have $20? I said, what you need it for? Oh, the football game. They got a football game going on Friday. I'm like, okay. How much is the football game? You know, she'll say, it's $8. I said, okay, I'm going to give you $8, you know? And so, because I'm on a budget, and that's, you know, my money. And so that's the way the lender does. They're only going to give you what that home is worth, you know? So if the home is listed for 170 and they send, the lender always sends an appraiser out from their particular bank or mortgage firm. And so once they send them out, they're going to do what they call evaluation. They're going to find out what the appraisal is, and they're going to come back with an appraisal report. And if the appraisal report comes back that the home is only worth $168,000, that's all they're going to give.
That's all they're going to lend you.
And so when the first-time home buyer comes on the scene into the market, you want to have a little cash on hand, because that's going to say that you have some skin in the game. You know, so to say. And so coming with maybe 4,000, you know, 5,000, you would be comfortable enough to make a strong offer, say 175, you know, on your offer with $1,250 to $1,500 in the earnest money, and then $2,500 to $3,000 with an appraisal gap. You know, someone that's putting their house out on the market, a seller putting their house on the market for 170, they would be comfortable with that. And so that would put you in the game to say that you have a strong offer. And so agents would reach out to your realtor and talk to them about it and say, hey, you know, what's going on? Do you, you know, want to upgrade? Or they might even go into highest and best. You know, so that would give you a chance to, you know, raise your amount on the appraisal gap. You know, earnest money not too much, because you're going to get that back at closing, and that's going towards you. But that appraisal gap money is really, you know, what's going on right now. That and escalation clauses.
Yeah, absolutely. That's huge. And I'm hearing more and more about that every day. What about new construction?
New construction, I haven't had a buyer with new construction yet. I'm working with a guy named David Shabazz, and I'm trying to get some more clients his way. But
I heard he's a pretty nice guy.
Yeah, I heard he's a pretty good guy. You may know him.
Yeah, I may know.
But I'm working towards that with new construction.
So this market has changed. How long have you been a licensed broker?
I started with FC Tucker in January of 2021.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So going on over a year and a half.
Over a year. So you came in the middle.
Oh my God.
Of this whirlwind that we're having.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hit the ground running.
You know, but that's good, because you get to see some things that you're learning now that maybe in the next, 36 months or so, we may not have necessarily those same type of challenges, because what's happening is, based off of everything that I've read, is that we are about 900 subdivisions there needs to be about 900 new subdivisions to meet the demand
Yeah. It's a lot
of
of
the
buyers
current.
out there.
That's a lot of buyers.
Yeah.
900 subdivisions. That's a lot of subdivisions.
Yeah.
And so that means that folks are going to get pushed out to McCordsville, Fortville, New Powell, Greenfield,
Yeah.
you know, going beyond Avon and Brownsburg. I mean,
Exactly.
you know, they're going to have to be forced to go out to those places in order to purchase
Yeah.
the type of home that they want.
Exactly. Yeah. And we've seeing a lot of new construction out.
Just everywhere.
Definitely. Avon, East.
And what happened
everywhere.
with Indianapolis, and I'm sure you're aware of this, we just caught up price wise with everybody else. Indianapolis was so low for so long. We were underpriced for so long that if you made $15 an hour or $12 an hour, you could buy a home
Right.
in this city.
Yeah.
You can't do that in Denver. You couldn't do that in LA. You couldn't do that in
Right.
Vegas. You can't do that in Chicago. Couldn't
Right.
do that in Cincinnati. You know what I mean? Pittsburgh. I can keep going on and on and on. So
Right.
Indianapolis was one of the most affordable cities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we caught up with everybody, but everybody else went up as well, even higher.
Exactly.
So we're still one of the most affordable cities.
Yeah.
We've gone up about $100,000.
Exactly. Yeah. We're growing.
So I was talking to a client just recently. She says, "Well, I better get married because we were looking at houses that she couldn't afford."
See, trying to double up on them finances.
She said, I need to get married again." But it makes you think.
Right.
I'm not making the type of money I need to make in order to purchase the type of home that I really want.
Right.
So I either do, like she said, marry her boyfriend or whoever, or you need to come up with some more income.
Right. Yeah.
That's the market that we're in.
Yeah, and so, I'm glad you said that. It's because, a lot of times, you may get frustrated as a renter. You're paying all of this money, but if your credit isn't where it needs to be, it's just not the right time. If you don't have a little bit of money saved up,
cash is king.
Yeah, cash is king. So you can get pre-approved for $200,000, but if you don't have any cash, it's just going to be like, or if you're not stable on your job, So there are, some good reasons, some pros to renting, as opposed to owning. But I believe you have to know that it's temporary.
Yeah.
Treat it as temporary, but really make those moves because, hey, I'm not ready now, but by this time next year, with the budget, with discipline, I can be ready.
Obviously we all know our market's changed. And I'm going to speak to this because I keep hearing it over and over again, and I think there's some inaccuracies within the community, within our community, within Indianapolis, about what the housing market is going to do. And you can agree or disagree. I could be wrong, but every indicator, everything that I've read said that prices aren't going down. They are what they are, and they can rise, continue to rise. I hear people all the time saying, "I'm waiting for the next recession. I'm waiting for the bubble to burst."
Yeah, it's not.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
And the reason why it's not going to happen, because I'm going to allude to what we just discussed. We are 900 subdivisions behind.
Right.
There are so many people out there that are still waiting to purchase a home.
Exactly.
That even if a house did foreclose, the bank's going to sell it for top dollar.
Exactly.
And they know they can get top dollar.
Right.
So even if there was a foreclosure, right, and just this large amount of foreclosure, it doesn't matter because they're going to get top dollar for them.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're not. It's not like in the past.
Yeah, it ain't no more
Right?
like it was in 2018 or whatever. You can't get them for $5,000-$6,000.
Right. So, it used to be where if a house was worth $300,000, you could probably get it for $225 because it was a foreclosure. If a house is $300,000 and it's foreclosure, you may sell for $325.
Right. Exactly.
So if you're waiting for the bubble to burst, you're actually going to wait yourself out of the market.
Exactly.
Because what you could buy today, you won't be able to afford this time next year.
Right.
Because the price of that home would have gone up.
Gone up. Exactly.
So you
Interest
keep
rates are
waiting.
going up too.
And you're going to keep renting. If you're going, and I tell people all the time, if you're going to purchase, you better do it now.
Do it now. Yep. Exactly. It's the best time. Right now, we just need a lot more inventory.
Yeah. Yeah.
So building new builds.
And they can't build
People
them
selling
fast
them
enough.
home. I know people selling their homes, to either upgrade or downsize or what have you. But it's definitely needed. Got way more buyers than we do sellers. It's a seller's market. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it was a shift, it was different.
Yeah.
We were, it was just a different time.
Mm-hmm.
Make Men Better program.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So I'll just take you back to the Indianapolis Urban League. Gained a lot of experience with that particular program with Saving Our Sons. Left there, ended up saying, okay, I really want to get into real estate. I really want to help people. I really want to help our community reduce their debt, to be able to just, live a debt-free life, and to become homeowners. And of course, that's going to allow them to build equity, build wealth, and to create generational wealth. And so with that premise, I would say bringing that from Saving Our Sons along with my why coming from real estate, it's really something that I actually had the resources from the Saving Our Sons program. And so to be able to pull that together, helping young men, and we basically expanded it just a little bit. Instead of 18 to 24, we said 16 to 45.
Okay.
And so what we want to do is help build men's confidence, right? We want to basically help them find a job. We want to help them with food, help them with housing, but also talk to them about financial literacy. We talk to them about real estate and talk to them about, credit and trying to, actually clean your credit up so you can possibly get a loan, or talk to some private lenders or hard lenders so you can, learn about investments and be that head, be that lead in your family. And like we talked about, putting them in their rightful place. So Making Men Better spawned out of Saving Our Sons.
Okay.
And me and a couple of my family members, we actually sat down, drafted everything up, renovated the basement of our family church, and put everything in there. So all new suits, and we just made it bigger and better.
Right.
Yeah. So helped over probably 70 men last year. Yeah.
Man, that's I had a gentleman on my show about 3 or 4 weeks ago, James Long.
Okay.
James has a juice company.
Okay.
Call him Mr. Liv.
Yeah, I think I know James.
And what you're doing, what James is doing, what some of the other folks are doing is God's work.
Yeah.
Because you're reaching back to pull up.
Yeah, exactly.
And so many people just look back and let you stay where you are, but you're reaching back. And to me, that's God's work. To me, that is saying, hey, I'm compassionate enough to know where I am in today. I've been very fortunate and blessed to get as far as I have today in life. Let me take some of what I've learned, along with some passion and some, integrity. And just like you're doing with the real estate world, you're lifting up people so that they can better themselves.
Right.
It seems like everything that you've done, Jeff, everything that you've been a part of, and that's why I call you a giant, because you are doing God's work. You're helping uplift your own people to make them a better example for the world to see.
Yeah.
Because what the world sees, what they see on display is not what we want them to see.
Exactly.
We aren't the authors of that, but if we can do our part to make it a better place for everybody, that's, to me in itself, Mr. Allen, I salute you, man. You're doing a hell of a job.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
The city is a better place with you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely, man. I mean that.
I appreciate that.
You said one thing that really stuck out to me. You said people are people. That's huge, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because so many of us get caught up in all the drama of our community.
Yeah.
And fail to realize that, you know what? Your grandmother is my grandmother. Your sister is my sister.
Absolutely.
Your brother is my brother. And in life, I was listening to a gentleman say this, and I don't mean to be vulgar. I don't mean to be disrespectful. But the word choice is, when you hear music, I'm gonna shoot that, you know, that nigga, you know, this and that, whatever. But you can't say I'm gonna shoot my brother.
Right.
So you are my brother.
Right.
I am your brother.
Yeah.
When we use that type of language,
Yeah.
we have a different attitude towards one another.
Exactly. Yep.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah. We you know, we just literally touched on that with the Willie Lynch, man. We've been programmed, even with our media, with our music, to tear each other down, you know. And of course, the man will pay us for that. They'll pay the monkey in a suit to entertain everybody. And so we need to come away from that and really learn how to support each other. You mentioned the Latino community, the Jewish community, and we can even talk about the dollar. You know, how long it stays in each of those communities, but it takes 6 hours, you know, for us to get a paycheck, and it's already out of our hands into somebody else's hands, into their community. And so that's what it's really about. It's really about knowledge, and having that knowledge, having discipline, but also having that support in our communities to be able to just help each other out and lift each other up and treat each other like family.
Yeah. My parents told me this. God bless them, both of them. Blessed their souls. My father and my mother used to tell us one of the worst things that ever happened to our community was desegregation. And people say, well, why would you say desegregation was one of the worst things? Because when there was segregation to them, was them saying, hey, we don't want you over here in our store.
Right.
We don't want you in our getting gas from our gas station. We don't want you in our convenience store. We don't want you.
Right.
And so my parents were always the type of people where, if you don't want me, why would I go and do business with somebody who really doesn't want me to do business with them in the first place?
You want my dollar.
But you want my dollar, because but when there was, in our community, remember, before that, there were black-owned gas stations.
Exactly.
There were black-owned convenience stores. There was the barber shop. There was the grocery store. There was the convenience store. And the the electronic store that we used to shop at, that was in our community.
Right.
So when desegregation happened, our folks ran downtown to go shop at the big stores downtown, and forgot all about those mom and pop shops that were pillars in our community.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, we can go on and on and on about this kind of stuff, but you know, it's good that people understand that you doing business with someone that actually appreciats you is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Like a human.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And people are
Not
people.
ATM.
People are people, man. And I think that gets lost when we talk about things like segregation, or we talk about things that don't help our community. Now, fast forwarding to 2022, what do is continue to do the work that you're doing. That's how you make things better. Right. You get these young men dressed up in suits. You call them brother, don't call them the N-word.
Exactly.
You show them respect, they show you respect. We stop fighting with our sisters, and we start loving each other, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
That's how I look at it, man. Well, we got a long way to go.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, you know, it's just about each one reach one, you know, and to each one podcast and different shows like that, the type of brother that you are, man, and just being able to spread our light, you know, to our community, and share this, you know, with, you know, whoever, you know, everybody on social media, you know, letting people know, man, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, and, you know, people will catch on. It'll just spread like a wildfire, hopefully, you know.
Nobody can tell your story better than you.
Yeah, everybody has a story.
Yeah. What else do you have? I know we're going to wrap up here soon. What do you want people to know about Jeff Allen?
Well, I want you to know that I am a personable, you know, human being. I have, you know, a lot of experience just in different backgrounds. I am a believer in God, so I am integral. Standards. You can talk to me, you can call me, you can text me, you can email me, call me and talk to me about issues. You know, you as well as I know, we've had to put on multiple hats. You had to be a cousin, a chaplain, you know,
your barber,
counselor, everything. And so that's just who I am, right? And so, you know, I'm a man of my word. I'm all about community. I'm all about helping people build wealth and trustworthy enough to help you with one of your biggest purchase in your life.
Jeff Allen, you're a giant. We appreciate you, man. Off the record, appreciate you. The folks that do all the behind the scenes stuff appreciate you. The community appreciate you, brother. I salute you.
I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.